The clitoris is pure in purpose.
Bring a bit closer to you.
The clitoris is pure in purpose. It is the only organ in the body designed purely for pleasure. The clitoris is simply a bundle of nerves. 8,000 nerve fibers to be precise. That's a higher concentration of nerve fibers than is found anywhere else in the body, including the fingertips, lips, and tongue. And it is twice the number in the penis. Who needs a handgun when you've a semi-automatic? From Woman, An Intimate Geography by Natalie Angier. Because he liked to look at it, is the name of this chapter. This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know it should have happened in a bath with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Enya playing Me Loving My Woman's Self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is only the internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of it. Like, if we'd grown up in a culture where we taught that fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding down our milkshake and cookies, lying on our backs, spending our days thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs, and I hated my vagina even more. I thought it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who looked at it and from that moment on wished I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I began to pretend there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture. Cozy futons with light cotton comforters, little velvet settees, leopard rugs or pretty things, silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders or place settings, or miniature landscapes, clear crystal lakes or moisty Irish bogs. I got so accustomed to this that I lost all memory of having a vagina. Whenever I had sex with a man, I pictured him inside a milk-lined muffler, or a red rose or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. He was thin and tall and nondescript and wore khaki clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or listen to Prodigy. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer he spent time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings. He did not have any problems or issues, and was not even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my quarters and pennies and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him.
What?
That's when the miracle occurred. Turned out that Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they tasted, the way they smelled. But most important, he loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time we had sex, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here, I said. No, I have to see you. Turn on the light, I said. Thinking he was a weirdo, I was freaking out in the dark. He turned on the light. Then he said, Okay. I'm ready to see you. Right here, I waved. I'm right here. Then he began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? I asked. I need to see you, he replied. No need, I said. Just dive in. I need to see what you look like, he said. But you've seen a red leather couch before, I said. Bob continued. He would not stop. I wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, I said. Can't you just dive in? No, he said. It's who you are. I need to look.
No, silly woman.
I held my breath. He looked and looked. He gasped and smiled and stared and groaned. He got breathy and his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry, beautiful beast. You're so beautiful, he said. You're elegant and deep and innocent and wild. You saw that there? It was like he read my palm. I saw that, he said, and much, much more. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes, but it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me, and he was so genuinely excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious. I'm beautiful! Like a great painting or waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell, began to feel proud, began to love my vagina. And Bob lost himself there. And I was there with him, in my vagina. And we were gone. In 1993, I was walking down a street. Oh yes, this book is written fairly appallingly. Anyway, in 1993, I was walking down a street in Manhattan when I passed a newsstand and was suddenly struck by a deeply disturbing photograph on the front page of Newsday. It was a picture of a group of 6 women who had just been returned from a rape camp in Bosnia.
What? Right. Tasteful as always.
Their faces revealed shock and despair. But more disturbing was the sense that something sweet, something pure had been forever destroyed in each of their lives. I read on. Inside the newspaper was another photograph of the young women, recently reunited with their mothers, and standing in a semicircle in a gymnasium. There was a very large group, and not one of them, mother or daughter, was able to look at the camera. I knew I had to go there. I had to meet these women. In 1994, thanks to the support of an angel, Lauren Lloyd, I spent 2 months in Croatia and Pakistan, interviewing Bosnian women refugees. I interviewed these women and hung out with them in camps, cafes, and refugee centres. I have been back to Bosnia twice since then. When I returned to New York after my first trip, I was in a state of outrage. Outrage that 20,000 to 70,000 women were being raped in the middle of Europe in 1993. As a systematic, this is not funny. I don't want to read this bit. Let's get to this. This bit, it's about serious business and rape. I don't want to read that. Okay, here we go. My vagina was green. Water-soft pink fields, cow mooning, sun resting between sweet boyfriend touching lightly with a soft piece of blonde straw. There's something between my legs. I do not know what it is. I do not know where it is. I do not touch. Not now. Not anymore. Not since. My vagina was chatty. Can't wait. So much saying, words talking. Can't quit trying. Can't quit saying, oh yes, oh yes. Not since I dreamed there's a dead animal sewn in down there, with thick black fishing line. And the bad dead animal smell cannot be removed, and its throat slit and it bleeds through all my summer dresses. My vagina, singing all girl songs, all goat bells ringing songs, all wild autumn field songs, vagina home songs. Oh, this is about rape again. Skip. Here we go, vagina fact. Oh, I've already read that one. Vagina fact 2? Oh, more rape. Here we go, my angry vagina. My vagina's angry. It is. It's pissed off. My vagina's furious and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about all this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what's the deal? An army of people out there thinking of ways to torture my poor ass, gentle, loving vagina. Spending their days constructing psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy, vagina motherfuckers. All this shit they're constantly trying to shove up us, clean us up, stuff us up, make it go away. Well, my vagina's not going away. It's pissed off and it's staying right here, like tampons. What the hell is that? A wad of dry fucking cotton stuffed up there? Why can't they find a way to subtly lubricate the tampon? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It says, fuck that. It closes up. You need to work with the vagina. Introduce it to things. Prepare the way. That's what foreplay is all about. You've got to convince the vagina, seduce the vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that with a dry wad of fucking cotton. Stop showing things to me. Stop shoving and stop cleaning it up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Not like rose petals. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe him when he says it's meant to smell good. That's what they're doing, trying to... Oh, blah, blah, rubber gloves. What? Whoa, Nazis. What? Let's try this. The little coochie snorter that could. Oh god, and it's called Southern Women of Colour is the subtitle.
Not racism.
Memory.
Not racist.
December 1965. 5 years old. My mama tells me in a scary, loud, life-threatening voice to stop scratching my coochie snorter. I became terrified that I've scratched it off down there. I do not touch myself again, even in the bath. I'm afraid of the water getting in and filling me up so I explode. I put band-aids over my coochie snorter to cover the hole. But they fall off in the water. I imagine a stopper, a bathtub plug up there, to prevent things from entering me. I sleep with 3 pairs of happy, hard-patterned cotton underpants underneath my snap-up pajamas. I still want to touch myself, but I don't. Memory, 7 years old. Edgar Montaigne, who is 10, gets angry at me and punches me with all my might between my legs. It feels like he breaks my entire self. I limp home. I can't pee. My mom asks me what's wrong with my coochie snorcher. And when I tell her what Edgar did to me, she yells and says never to let anyone touch me down there again. Say, no, don't touch me there. That place is my private square. It's rape. Memory, 9 years old. I play on the bed, bouncing and falling and impale my coochie snorcher on the bedpost. How is that even possible? How fucking stupid do you have to... It's like something... It'd end up looking like something out of Superman, wouldn't it?
It's like